What's up, gamers? Patch number 2 is officially out in the wild. In this video, we're going to do a deep dive into the patch notes. That way you have all the information. I'm going to give you some of my thoughts along the way, but there is so much to cover and I'm so excited to be able to share. Now, I've already played some of this patch this evening, and right now my experience has been just absolutely fantastic. But as news rolls out, as information from the devs rolls out, as the player reaction to this patch rolls out, I'll be sure to cover that in other No Rest for the Wicked videos. So let's get into it. Hello everyone, and welcome to another No Rest for the Wicked video. My name's Brian, if you happen to be new to the channel. And like I said in the intro, we're going to be doing patch notes. There is not going to be a community discussion attached to this video, namely because of how late it is at the time of this recording. But I wanted to get this out for you guys so that way we can have that discussion in the comments on this video. So if you are excited about this patch, frustrated by this patch, hoping for more in this patch, I'd love to hear from you, so sound off below. But all that being said, thank you guys so much. We have so many new subscribers around here on the channel, and it really means the world to me. If I ever earn your subscription, be sure to sound off in the comments so I can thank you like these wonderful people right here on screen. Now, all that being said, let's get to the patch notes. All right, let's get it on with the patch notes. There is so much here that we have to cover. Let's start it off with just kind of a message from Kuro saying, "We are incredibly excited to be releasing our largest patch yet, marking the 1-month anniversary of our Steam Early Access launch." Clearly written last week. Patch 2 is chock full of highly requested features such as weapon tryout. Between DLSS and FSR, numerous CPU, GPU, and performance improvements and memory optimization that we're confident that your experience when playing No Rest for the Wicked will be significantly smoother across a wide range of hardware. For NVIDIA users, we're excited to mention that there's a new game-ready driver for No Rest for the Wicked, so be sure to check out the Patch 2 highlights video and the full patch notes below. So let's kick it off with performance. They highlight numerous specific CPU optimizations, but they say performance mode now lowers texture resolution, reducing crashes on lower end machines. They fix performance degradation and that might occur in some gamepads, and they fix numerous memory leaks. They reduce the instantiation spikes of numerous objects. They disable detail meshes on generic humanoid faces when not needed. They reduce latency, overhead the improved stability of GPU culling. They reduced optimized the texture resolution and memory budgets for Steam Deck. They optimized art content for Ship Prologue and its cinematics. They removed unused weapon assets to free up memory and removed leftover developer tools to free up memory. They optimized the CPU spikes for a variety of common content loading operations, and they added texture streaming for character portraits during the dialogue interaction to save on memory. They fixed some persistent log spam being generated by potatoes and nameless pass, and they cleaned up a number of NPC prefabs, reducing memory footprint and installation costs. Or instantiation costs, excuse me. Optimized ambient occlusion rendering, extended GPU culling usage for more cases, and configured and optimized pooling for more prefab instantaneous reducing of CPU spikes. For gameplay systems, they added the new Respec system. Players can now respec by examining the statue in the Serum Crucible, the atrium. Respec allows players to take back attribute points that have been allocated at the cost of 1 fallen ember per attribute point return. Oh, they're going with the fallen embers. I was wondering if it was going to be Plague Ichor, but that's going to keep those things in high value. I'm glad I've got a lot socked away, and I'm going to have to keep going more on those farms to be able to kind of have all the different builds that I want. Players can then allocate returned attribute points for no cost at the Respec screen or in an existing stats screen. So what do you guys think about that? I'm very curious to see how you feel about the embers being used to be able to respec your character. That also does mean that as you're playing through, until you get to the Crucible, you're not going to be able to respec. So there is a cost. Your choices still matter, but That's going to be something that I think it was more impactful to end game players, and that's important for me to know as a content creator and a guide maker on how to set up those guides so that new players don't end up like making it impossible for them to win, you know, in this case. Quality of life updates. All weapons can now be equipped regardless of their attribute requirements to allow players to try weapons that they acquire. Weapons that a player does not meet the requirements will deal less damage through negative scaling on the attributes that are below the weapon's attribute requirements. Inventory items can now be docked to compare them. Press F on the keyboard or Y on the controller to dock items and hover over other items to compare. They brought back the miscellaneous category to the inventory. Housing items, runes, fallen embers, and other miscellaneous items will now be sorted into this category to free up space from other categories. That's great. Yes. Okay. That's kind of what, you know, as I start to look at these notes in comparison to what they were kind of doing their poetic teases, that's exciting to see that we got that. Vendor screens are now sorted by item type so that items can be more organized for purchase. They improved stamina player HUD brightness for better visibility and readability of stamina debt. They added side notifications for when Danos Sacrament upgrades are completed. They added floor indicators under the clock HUD to show that the Crucible floors, and they improved the visibility of LB/RB button icons for equipment HUD on Steam Deck. Yay! More Steam Deck improvements. So this is really, really good. For the settings, they added support for upscaling DLSS 3.7 and FSR 2.2. Added custom key rebinding options for the controller. Really excited about that. They added support for mouse buttons 4, 5, and F1 through F12 keys for custom keyboard bindings. So they have. That's one of the things we were wondering, if they were going to do some additional keyboard bindings in this update. It looks like they got that snuck in. The default keyboard layout is set to mouse and WASD. They added support for workspace player HUD, stamina wheel, NPC name tags, etc., and brightness to the UI brightness settings. For content additions, added a new set of enchantments. All throne runes can now be added to spears. That's cool. I wouldn't necessarily call that content. I'd be very curious if you would label that as a content. So sound off in the comments. We can have that discussion. Anyhow, balance. Nerfed throw runes. Reduce the poise damage on all the throne runes. They reduce the damage on ice throw runes. They nerf focus regeneration enchantment curve so that it no longer generates too much focus too quickly. The focus regeneration enchantment no longer drops with gloves and can now only drop with helmets. That's interesting. This includes enchanted items at Eleanor. Falling Sky and Woodland Protector's initial helm item levels were set too high to have been lowered to their intended levels. For weapons, they updated animations for backstabbing with staves, spears, crossbows, and great hammers. They updated the visual effects for piercing type weapon attacks such as the spear and the rapier. For enemies and bosses, polished Derek boss fight, improved behavior to prevent him from standing idle after attacking. They improved behavior when fighting ranged builds. Well, darn it. They added bite attack to the plague rat. They added a back attack to the risen axe bruiser. They added an escape logic for risen firebomber. They added an elemental affix visual effects with the ninth brute, ninth screamer, and the shackled brute. Added cloth simulation to the boarskin bruiser. Polished rigging on the plague boomer. Reduced camera shake intensity on the risen hammer bruiser, boarskin bruiser, and the raven twins. And smaller enemies can now smash breakable objects, barrels, crates, etc. Thank you guys, and I see you guys in chat. Just as kind of a heads up, if you're kind of funneling in during this, just kind of doing patch notes reading, kind of, you know, for the video that will go up after this. And then we're going to hang out and talk about it, and we're going to update the game, and we're going to check it out. So thank you guys so much for being here. If you guys enjoyed this content, be sure to hit that like button. It's a great free way of supporting the channel. Anyway, back to the notes. For the NPCs, they changed the name of the worried woman in the Sacrament Town Square to Nell. They polished dialogue for Druo, Lucan, and Everwin. And they updated the dialogue of the NPCs in the Karam Gate and Nameless Pass. They added eavesdrop to Sleeping Guard Gerald in Sacrament. For the areas, they improved collision faders set on dressings in the prologue ship, Orbin and Glades, Mariner's Keep, Nameless Pass, Sacrament, multiple Sacrament interiors, Karam Crucible, the Cave, Riven Twins Boss Arena, and the Potion Seller's Cave. They polished lighting for the ship prologue, Sacrament, and Crucible, updated foliage in various locations, and added physics to wind simulation to the spruce trees. For cinematics, they polished animations for characters in the Inquisition Arrival cinematic. They improved the lighting, character rim lighting, and volumetrics on the prologue ship. They crashed the outro in Inquisition Arrival and cinematics, removed the background character who was blocking part of the view in the Inquisition Arrival cinematic, and they fixed cloth and camera props in the Inquisition Arrival cinematic. For audio changes, the environment update for Sacrament, they added ambient emitters for certain residential and vendor buildings like the cook, the tavern, the woodcrafter, and the enchantress. They updated zone beds and one shots for unique parts of the town, the cemetery, poor area, training grounds, and Dasha Sanctuary. The church near the cemetery now has bells ringing to service players at certain times of day, following by churchgoers praying and chanting from behind the doors. They updated the ambience for Sacrament Town Square to feel busier during the day, and they updated the environmental audio for the Karam Cave gate zone in Mountain Pass. They increased the audio buffer to help alleviate audio crackle artifacts. They increased available audio resources to help prevent sounds from dropping out during long play sessions. They updated the audio for Karam Vision Cinematic and updated the audio mix for barrel and crate destruction. Saluting guards in Sacrament now have sounds, or saluting. Saluting. Anyway, well, we do what we do here. Added weapon-specific impacts for parrying and blocking actions. Added ladder sliding sound effects for kick-down ladders. They added sound effects for going down the ladders themselves. Added new sound effects for the Plague enchanted weapons. Polished audio and boundaries enemies. They fixed missing sounds for Plague mutant soldier. They fixed rain sounds appearing in Sacrament interiors. They fixed enchantment specific weapon whooshes cutting a bit too early. They fixed NPCs not making footstep sounds when walking around. And they fixed environmental states sometimes not resetting when returning to the main menu. Visual effects have been updated. Blood effects are now juicier and far more often. They did say this was going to be a beefy and juicy patch, so I guess maybe that's what they mean. And they improved the blood visual effects attachment to characters' bodies from attacking and getting hit. They increased the intensity of shiny item drops visual effects. For bounties and challenges, they updated the Custodian Conundrum bounty to spawn 14 crabs while still only requiring 8 crabs to be killed to complete. Well, that's actually really nice. Trying to find that last crab has always been something that's taken way too much time. Localization, added and updated localization text in many places across multiple languages, added localization support for the new controller remapping screen and various missing localization elements. They fixed incorrect font on the activities screen. And for the 36 bug fixes, they fixed various enchantments on unique weapons and rings that weren't working properly. They fixed rested bonuses for sleeping in beds. They fixed key item respawning after pickup. They fixed navigation on Nameless Patch, which has prevented certain enemies at the Riven Twins boss from patrolling and moving the player. They fixed Echo Knight falling off the arena and blocking progress. They fixed the Karam armor missing upgrades at Fillmore. They fixed the Risen Paves, Eye of the Beholder, and Wooden Howler shields not showing the proper modes. They fixed the shift key not being recognized in the main menu. They fixed certain improvements or environmental textures overriding certain armor textures. They fixed certain armor having missing and incorrect cloth simulation. Fixed rigging with certain armor. They fixed the Wallow boss attacks not having sound effects. They fixed the falling sky blueprint not giving the unique version of the weapon when crafting. They fixed an issue when completed but not yet turned in on the bounty challenge rewards were being automatically given to the player at reset. They fixed wall cannons not firing in Karam Crucible. They fixed XP UI not showing max level after reaching the level cap. They fixed the level. Oh, I like that. Yay. Because at the same time I was like 0 and it's always sitting at 0. So that's really good to see. They fixed the level and XP UI being present without a character selection in the main menu. They fixed long area name appearing on the map menu where the map was unavailable, such as Karam Crucible. They fixed being able to skip through locked doors in the shallows. They fixed players getting stuck at the end of the entrance corridor in the Echo Knight Arena, and they fixed the enchantment item challenge, counting enchanted items that are picked up. They fixed mortuary guard popping up in the screen during the Spookin' and the Unspoken quest, and they fixed the extra Elsa map marker during the Spoken and Unspoken quest. They fixed Giles and Petra standing instead of sitting in the chairs in Caroline's End. They fixed arrows not hitting the Plague Wolf. They fixed the Plague Wolf target's point. They fixed the 10th Knight getting stuck during patrolling the Mariner's Keep at Endgame State. They fixed Derek leaving his shield in orbit and glades when he escapes. They fixed the chest opening VFX and performance and balanced quality presets. They fixed the wolf having a dance party after death. They fixed the crest floating in the air in Mariner's Keep, and they fixed incorrect textures on the crafting table. They fixed the 4096 by 2160 resolution appearing as 256 by 135 aspect ratio instead of displaying it as 1.9:1. I don't know how to read that in English. I failed completely. All right. They fixed overblown bonfire lighting in the shallows. They removed rogue rim light in the shallows and then removed the lighting debut shortcut. Well, if you made it to the end of all those patch notes, you truly are a legend, and thank you so much for spending some time with me today. Guys, your time is important to me, and hopefully you're getting something good out of these videos. As more information drops, I'm again going to be sure to share that with you guys as best as I can. If you guys enjoy the content, if you want to keep seeing it in your feed, be sure to hit that like button. That's a great way, a great free way of supporting the content. If you want to go above and beyond, we have memberships here, and they are like, the members are just absolutely incredible. They really help with the channel, and we've got lots of cool stuff for you guys. So thank you guys so much to the members. Thank you so much for just your being here. I really appreciate each and every one of you, and hopefully I'll see you guys on the next video and or live stream. Just keep it locked to the channel for more, and we'll be sure to let you know when we go live. But outside of that, guys, for Ginger Prime, my name is Brian. Thank you for watching. Hopefully I'll see you in the next video, but until then, take care.